All right, we got two concepts to talk about. Bottlenecks, and what do we do with bottlenecks? We try to balance our line. A bottleneck is a process in a chain of processes that has the least capacity and therefore reduces the capacity of the entire operation. So we have a slow process or maybe a slow employee, and that makes everybody else in a position of waiting. So let's look at a concept here, a process A, B, and C. And process A, our little operation here has the capacity to do 200 units of whatever per hour. B has the capacity to do 50 per hour, and C has the capacity to do 300 an hour. Now, what would be the output of the entire operation? And the answer is 50 units per hour. So if we look at this, and it's pretty obvious when you go to an operation and just look. If this operation is too fast, there'll be a pile of unprocessed fully items here, and the pile will keep getting higher, because if they're working at their normal capacity of 200 per hour, the next process can only do 50. So now, the next hour they process 250, so there's 150 just sitting right there. So you can observe it. You can also observe process number C, their operation, which is capable of doing 300 whatever per hour, and they're sitting there waiting and bored because they can get things done, in 10 minutes, and then the rest of the time they have to wait. So what do? We have to increase the capacity of the bottleneck. This is our bottleneck. It's the slowest operation that we have. Or decrease the capacity of the non-bottlenecks. We don't need all these people here. We didn't need to really buy this huge machine or whatever this process entails to make it 300. It was a waste. And over here, we have too many employees, or the machine's too fast or something. So what we need to do is increase the capacity of the bottleneck. Maybe we could double it to 50 per hour, but it's still the bottleneck. So if this was employee intensive, we'd decrease the capacity of, say, this operation and move the resources over here. So now maybe we could reduce this down to 200 per hour, and here again raise this by 50 and raise this, the same one again by 50. So now the operation would look like we're doing 200, and then 50 of them would go over here, 50 here, 50 here, 50 here, and feed back into, starting to look like a precedence chart, back into the 200. So now we have balanced the line, we've equalized the capacity of all the processes, and we have now achieved even flow. So it might not be obvious, but there are clues that the line is not balanced. Some examples of bottlenecks are restaurants, cafes, snack shops. Whenever you see people waiting, there's a bottleneck, right? In services. The bank, on the 15th and the 30th, all of these people are waiting in line. They need to increase the number of tellers to alleviate that bottleneck. So also at the grocery. And you will notice at some groceries, they have, maybe this is the front door, and then they have the checkout here, and then they'll add, the grocery store that I go to, just added a little table right here with the weight machine and the cash register. So when there are people waiting in line here, then they can go over here. So that alleviates. Now, a real life example was many years ago, but it was such a beautiful day to achieve even flow. What I was going to do was, I had all these tiny little seedlings in these trays that have tiny little dimples for plants. And I wanted to get those little seedlings into cups and put them out in the sun so the plant could get bigger, right? So we have a cup, and we have to drill a hole for the water so the water can get out of there. We don't want it to be a little swimming pool. So we have to drill a hole in the cup. We have to fill the cups with a soil mix. Then we have to take the seedling from the tiny little tray and then pop it in there, which is tedious. And then we take the tray of 50 cups out into the sun and put them on a table so they can get sunlight. So the operation wasn't optimal until I balanced the line. I had one person here drilling the cups. He could do 4 at a time, 4 or 5. So he was pretty quick. And then when it came to filling up the cups, I needed 2 people. And granted, they were young kids. So needed 2 there. Now, getting the little seedling out of the little tray and getting it into the cup was very tedious. So I had 2 people doing that. And then I was the delivery person. So there's 1 person there. So doing trays of 50 cups, the guy would drill 50 cups and give them to the 2 boys that were filling up the cups with soil, putting them in a tray. And then they would get delivered to the first round, get delivered to the seedling cup people, and they would fill those in. And I'd take the tray, put it out in the sun, bring the empty tray back to the soil people, and then get the 50 cups that are full of soil, take them to the seeding cup people, and then take the seedlings out again. So I had to keep up with them to maintain even flow. But it was a beautiful day because it was just, here you go, thank you. It was beautiful. So, with your projects, how will you balance your line? Will you have bottlenecks? Will you have people waiting? Does somebody need help in one area to make it flow so there's no waste of time? Okay, so bottlenecks and line balancing.